Welcome to another CEO Wisdom podcast with Aditya Mishra. Adi is the CEO and Managing Director at Ciel HR. We're going to talk about innovation, agility in the space of HR services. Adi is live from Bangalore, India. And this podcast is brought to you by podpar.com. If you want to start, scale, be invited to a podcast like this one. Adi, welcome to the pod. Tell me a bit more about yourself and about Ciel HR.
Hey, thank you, Charles. Thank you for inviting me. Wonderful work that you have been doing. I must thank on behalf of many people like me in this world. Talking about me as a person, I've been very passionate about HR and I'm very entrepreneurial at heart. Last 25 years, I have been in this HR services industry, which is a which is a fast growing industry in India. Also, it is growing across the world. Uh, Prior to these 25 years in the HR services space, I was working in the engineering and construction industry for about 7 years. So that's my overall work life journey. In the last couple of decades that I have been in HR, have been fortunate to have worked with organizations, my clients who are spread across the industry sectors, who have been growing at a very, very fast rate in India. So have been fortunate to learn about the challenges that they encounter and have co-created many solutions for them. So it has been an exciting journey so far.
Tell me about Ciel itself. What do you do specifically, and how do you distinguish yourself from other players?
Yeah, Ciel HR is a full spectrum HR services. Anything that an organization requires in the area of HR, we have a solution. Typically, organizations look for three kinds of services in HR. One is to find talent. Secondly, they want to assess the potential of the talent that they have and create a development journey for the talent that they have. And thirdly, they require systems to manage the talent. So CLHR is one of the largest in India and growing the fastest. We are on a path to IPO, the public listing in the Indian stock exchanges. So that's very briefly about us. The legacy of this company is a company called MAFA, which started in 92 in India and had grown to be the largest in India. So I co-founded CLHR in 2015 along with the founders of MAFA. So we are together, four of us have brought this company to this size, one of the fastest growing amongst the top 10. We are the largest in terms of geographic presence in India. We have presence in 47 cities in India. So that's very briefly about us.
Right. And what do you have on the growth map for this year? Where do you want to grow the business and how?
We have been one of the fastest growing, as I said. Our industry in India has been growing at about 12 to 15% per year. We as a company have been growing at about 60% over the last 5 years, CAGR. So, how this has been possible? I think there are a few aspects. One is firstly, the thinking that drives and propels this organization. We see this industry as a 20 billion US dollar industry in India. Our market share is small. So there is a determination that there is a lot in the market which needs to be captured. Secondly, the leadership team which we have put in place, they're one of the most experienced teams that we have in India. So we are able to leverage all the relationships that we have in the market because this is a professional services business. Uh, for this business to grow, you need to not only have the contacts, the right systems, right processes, right kind of leadership drive that needs to be there to take this business forward. We have deployed good amount of technology. If you see Ciel HR, the tagline is HR inspired by science. So we are a lot technology led, and that's how our organization has been standing apart from our peers. We are able to scale very fast. We have a very unique business model by which we are able to scale very fast. And because of our geographic presence, pan India presence, when we speak to the large conglomerates in India, who are India itself is a huge country. So conglomerates, they require services in every nook and corner of the country, north to south to east to west, all over. So because of our geographic presence, we are able to fulfill the requirements in a consistent, reliable, and as a single point, we are able to provide all the requirements pan India. So all these things help us to grow faster than many of our peers in the industry.
Interesting. And how specifically do you grow? Is it referrals? Do you have some outreach programs going on? Is it ads? And yeah, if you can be specific in those details, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. See, like I said, we are a professional services company. We sell business to business, so it is B2B. So what we do is about six things that we do. One is that, of course, we have our network of connections. We know the people who are decision makers, influencers, who are the buyers of our service. So we reach out to them one to one. So that's the very basic first thing that we do. Second, of course, we have a very strong presence in the social media. We are India's second largest followed brand on LinkedIn. We have about 250,000, more than 250,000 followers on our company handle on LinkedIn. So that gives us a very strong presence in the digital world. So we keep getting a lot of incoming inquiries, which keep coming to our company. That's the second thing. The third thing is uh, we have a very strong public publicity or public relations program which runs all the time. So we have a research wing which keeps on researching on the talent market, employability scenario in the country. We keep producing various kind of thought leadership articles which our clients are very happy to read. So that's how we elevate our brand. So this is the third thing that we do, and you will see that we are one of the share of voice in the Indian media in our industry. We are either the leaders or the second. We track this every week. We have got a platform using which we track the share of voice that the media is talking about. So this is the third thing that we do. The fourth is, of course, whole lot of email marketing that we do. Uh, and of course, the fifth is we always do SEO on our website. So we that's how we sort of stay relevant. We are ranked with relevant keywords for a lot of it. We are top ranked website. And then the fifth thing is what we do is, because we are in recruitment industry, we help candidates get better opportunities in their life. So there is a lot of goodwill that we enjoy, because every month we as a company are recruiting about 4,000 people, 4 to 5,000 people every month. So there is a certain degree of momentum that we create due to the goodwill that we generate in the market. So the senior candidates that I'm placing in the clients, they tend to have that goodwill, and we reach out to them. So that helps us. And finally, the sixth one is basically, India is a very aspirational time that it's passing through. The people are very, very aspirational. So everyone is willing to take challenges, prove oneself, and climb higher and higher. So what it does is, even for our own company, our own employees, many of them leave us and move to other companies and to the industry in general. That's what happens in HR services industry. But the way we run our company, we have a very strong alumni network that we maintain, alumni of Ciel, so who we have a relationship, and again, that also helps us. So these are six different approaches that we have taken to be able to sort of achieve this kind of a result.
Right. And we've seen new products come out of Ciel, like Ciel Rapid. Can you tell us a bit more about that one and how you're adapting to the trends of AI this year?
Yep. Great question, by the way, Charles. I think it's a good observation. If you see our company, the tagline I said is HR inspired by science. So we are a HR services company. We tend to put a lot of technology in our organization and anything that we do. So apart from just doing the services of recruitment and staffing, which is a very traditional service. It's there for last 50 years in the world. Maybe in India, it's about 30, 35 years, but this is a very traditional service. Now we have added layers of technology and sort of converted some of the traditional services into a digital way of delivering that service. So Ciel Rapid is one such innovation, you can call it, from Ciel. And by the way, it is the only service that you find in India. It's in its infancy right now. It's targeted at small organizations who cannot really afford to work with a professional services company because of their size. They're small, and the professional services company doesn't find it meaningful to have a B2B engagement with a very small enterprise. Just imagine a retail store who's looking for one retail sales associate. So for that kind of a requirement, if they go to a services company like us, they don't get the attention, and the order size is so small that nobody really cares. So they end up uh, hiring suboptimal talent. The suboptimal solution they end up settling with. But we are sort of disrupting that market by saying that, hey, you just digitally buy a recruitment service from uh, Ciel, and it is delivered to you rapidly. That is why it is called Ciel Rapid. So they basically place their request. They get a phone call. We understand what they're looking for. We give them a bunch of validated profiles who are interested to do that job, do a job in their company. We find that kind of people and give it to them. Then the remaining part of recruitment, they're willing to do it themselves. So we charge them only for that activity. So it works very well. So this is just an example. Like this, we have multiple digital products. And in fact, in our company today, the traditional services, which is recruitment and staffing, that part, whatever profits that it generates, and the new services that we have added by the digital part, the HR tech part, for example, the AI tool you asked for. Like we are the only one of the very few companies in India, could be in the world as well, who has an AI tool uh, operating in the background to manage our entire database of the candidates. We have millions of candidate profiles sitting in our company who manages that database, finds the right solution, give it to the recruiters. Similarly, we use AI to create job descriptions. We use AI to create development journey for the people for whom we are doing talent development, and various such examples. We have an HRMS and learning system, and so on and so forth. So today the profits that we generate, a large part of it comes out of these new generation products and services that we have added. So if I hope I answered your query.
Right. And what other trends have you seen this year, and how have these trends impacted your business as someone with more than 10,000 employees?
Yeah, we as a company work across industry sectors. That's one of our strengths, and we have been fortunate to have built our company that way. I have noticed that there are a few sectors which have been deeply impacted this year. And 2024 is not going to be very different, thanks to the global events which are happening, right from the Ukraine war to various geopolitical crises that are taking place, the climate change related stuff that's happening across the world, uh, and various geopolitical scenario that's playing out. I think that the businesses which are global in nature, in India, particularly the two segments, which is one is IT services, technology services, and the second one is the startup ecosystem, which gets funding from across the world. These two sectors have been impacted severely last year, and 2024 there could be little recovery, but it is not going to be a huge recovery. So these two segments I anticipate will continue to be on the journey of optimizing their resources and increasing their efficiency. Hence, for a company like us, we have to be super smart to be able to find those gems who are actually hiring, who are still expanding. But in general, these two segments are going to have a trouble. Now, the other segments, which are banking, financial services, telecom, infrastructure, engineering, manufacturing, consumer goods, all these sectors in India today, thanks to the population of India, you might have noticed that India has become larger than China in population in the recent times. So what it does is it has got two sides of it. One side is that the consumers are many, so the demand for consumer goods is going to be high. On the other side, the the government, the education system, the society have to make sure that the people who are entering into the labor pool have the skills that the corporate is looking for, the employers are looking for. So, having said that, we think that there are several programs which the government of India and various state governments are running, which continue to boost the economy of India. So we think that consumer goods and hence manufacturing, because the core sector is growing, the infrastructure segment and the healthcare, hospitality, some of these sectors are going to grow. And we are focused on all of this, Charles.
Right.
How do you
And
see how do you see your part of the world behaving at this point in time about this on this particular aspect?
yeah, well, I have clients all over the world, so I can observe various trends. I also send a bunch of emails, interview a bunch of people, so got quite unique insights on that. But generally speaking, VC capital has been drying up this year. I worked with a lot of startups. These startups have suffered. If you're an AI startup, you're definitely, yeah, like at the right place. People are hiring less as well. There's inflation, there's geopolitics trends. Like you mentioned, Israel and Hamas is also a scary one. Um, So with all of that being said, I think, last year it started really, really slow. This year, this beginning of the year, a bit less slower. So it's sort of recovering, quote unquote. But yeah, AI is also going to have a humongous impact. I think people need to train themselves to manage AIs, because in the outsourcing or offshoring or IT outsourcing sector, which I have a lot of clients in, I think most people are still, in the mindset of, hey, do you have extra work to outsource? And that's not the case, right? Because a developer, for example, can be 3 times as more productive as before with the help of AI. So that means that, yeah, typically that company's gonna want to outsource less. A bunch of companies are cutting back as well. Tech giants like Amazon, Microsoft has cut back, Facebook has cut back. So I think it's gonna get better though. That's my quick output on it. I'm curious though, you manage a $60 million business a year and with a bunch of employees. How stressful is that? How do you manage that aspect of yours, the psychology of managing so many folks and so much money?
I think it's about our leadership practice and the leadership team that we have built. We actually are now about this year we should do about close to 150 million US dollars actually, kind of turnover. Uh, so it's about the team. I think the way we sort of have built a workplace culture, the way we have empowered our people, the business leaders and the functional leaders, they make a huge difference. And I think the sort of uh, there is a also a determination, like I said, that there has to be a certain degree of drive and entrepreneurial approach to see where the opportunity lies, and we are able to, in a very agile manner, shift gears. I think the last few years have been extremely challenging for all of us across the world. Uh, I believe that the people who have been successful are the people who were more agile than the others, who were more open to change, and who were faster than the others to adapt. So we are trying. Honestly, I won't really say that we have mastered this. Uh, we are still trying. We have not really shied away from taking some risks. And I can tell you that many risks that I have taken, they have not really yielded results that I wanted. We sort of diversify or we pilot a new product or a new kind of a service that we want to do, new geography we want to enter. And then we had to sort of shut it down, saying that, hey, this is not working. We had to come back. I mean, I don't really consider these as failures. These are just part of life. We need to take them in our stride and just keep moving forward. So this has been my principle. Stay calm, stay a little balanced in your outlook to life. Then I believe that things will fall in place.
What what would the business look like in 10 years from now? Would there be that much humans, or would there be more AI? Would there be more of a SaaS side of the business? Where would you picture CL in 10 years from now?
I think that's a really tough question, because I think 10 years is really a long time. But I can very clearly think that there will be a lot of automation. And we have to learn as an organization to coexist. Humans have to learn to coexist with automation. That is for sure. The market would have grown much bigger because socio-economic changes are continuing to happen in the country. It will happen more and more, and the country will get a lot more integrated with the global system than what it is today. Uh, and simultaneously, I believe that the value for human qualities will be recognized a lot more. Today, I think we live in a society or a community which is increasingly getting polarized. Uh, the shades of gray, which is natural uh, in Mother Nature, has to be recognized a lot more, I believe. The world is not digital. Um, if you see any natural process, like the sunrise to sunset, for example, it's a very natural process, or the growth of a plant, growth of a human baby. These are all natural processes, right? These processes are not digital. Like a baby takes birth, and the next day it becomes like a powerful person. It doesn't. It's a slow process of growth. I think in our digital mindset we are thinking yes or no. There is nothing in between. But I think the world will slowly start appreciating a lot more holism in whatever we do. So I think CL might not only be limited to the services that we are doing today. It could be a lot more human services. I think the at heart it is the human spirit is there in our organization. We love that HR bit, while the heart will remain in its own place, but the manifestations could be very different. So that's all I can say today. Uh,
I see that you gain your wisdom from studying history. I see posts about Indian kings, for example. Where do you get these insights? Do you meditate on stuff on a daily basis from getting so many insights? Where do you take that wisdom of yours from?
I think it has been some interest right from childhood to learn about human behaviors, to learn from history, learn from mythological stories that I have heard from my seniors, my teachers, my parents, grandparents, or people at that level. That's how I picked up an interest. So I keep learning from these. And believe me, the same text that I read 10 years ago created certain kind of an imagery in my mind. And today, when I read, it creates further a different kind of a dimension. So I keep sharing some of these things with my colleagues, friends, my connections. Uh, so it has been a personal interest, Charles.
Thanks for all the value that you shared today, Adi. Where can people find out more about you?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Your website, I guess, Ciel HR. Where can
.com.
people have more information about you and Ciel?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. That was another pod with Aditya Mishra and Charles Cormier, CEOWisdompodcast.com. You can find us there.